I want y'all to actually, if you're gonna be this, have this much venom for Kevin Samuels, y'all, you gotta know, you gotta have watched like his shows and really know what he stood for and what he was talking about. He didn't grow a following off projecting. He grew a following because he spoke to the masses of people who agreed with him and understood his point of view. It wasn't fluff. It wasn't flighty information. He did deep dive deeply into relationships and what men and women desire and what they require and how relationships work, regardless of what he actually was dealing with when he passed away. Me being a married woman, me being surrounded by a lot of women, single, married, divorced, dating, not dating, all kind of different women. He spoke to the masses of people, regardless whether those women were actually calling in. The people who watched his show got a lot from his point of view and the advice that he was giving during those calls and during his lives where he spoke by himself with nobody on the other end for 2 3 hours. He wasn't always demeaning women. He wasn't always talking about surface level things. That's not true, you guys. I was a avid Kevin Samuel watcher, and I can tell you I wasn't watching for BS. I was watching because people left with knowledge that could actually help him, regardless of, just like there's pastors out here that don't actually have theological degrees or degrees from seminary schools. They have God and they have knowledge on how to help people. I believe some people just, they just can analyze and learn and help people based off their own experience and people around them. I do understand what you're saying, Di, about having credentials when you dip in the lane of sociology, psychology, and all those different lanes. But at the same time, I cannot discredit who he was and what. Not me and not Die. I'm sorry, DJ. I can I cannot discredit who he was and what his content did for the quote unquote culture and how he helped men and women, black, white, Asian, wherever their background was.
All I can say is it's important that if you're gonna watch or if you're gonna make a claim, like sort of like what Casey said, just be cognizant, you know what I'm saying, of the statement you're making. You know what I'm saying? This guy didn't have to do what he did. You got to understand that the people he spoke for didn't have a voice to speak for themselves. A lot of people, most of the people he spoke for, if they were going around saying that shit, they would get hit with an NSFW claim or not safe for work or bad work, whatever you call it. I've been out of work for a while, man. I'm retired. So you got to understand who he was speaking for. So when you say he was speaking for himself, you got to understand how false that is. If he's speaking for a, what up? Damn, is that Trigger Mike? I couldn't see you because you know how black you is. You're kind of blending in with
Yeah, I've
your
been here
outfit.
5 minutes. Shut your bald ass up.
Go ahead, Trigger Mike. I want to
Nah,
hear what you got to say.
continue your diatribe, nigga.
No, go ahead, man.
I don't
Man,
even know what y'all
go
talking
get
about.
you a throat lozenge, man. What is you doing, man? Coming over
You
here.
know what? Damn right. I just been in his office. I haven't been talking.
Clock done struck
Bro,
zero
this
on y'all,
dude
bro.
said the whole word lozenge.
She said, okay, she said Kevin Samuels was projecting and he didn't have any credentials.
No, you know what? Kevin Samuels was. He was the bravest. He was the bravest because he played the anti-hero on purpose. I think I listened to him a little bit in the beginning and didn't know who he was when people were not sharing his stuff. And then of course, like 2020, he was everywhere. And I really started tuning in. What really got me to focus on it wasn't just him and what he was saying. It was that immediately when I heard his rhetoric, I said, oh, women not gonna go for this. They're not gonna stand for this. They're gonna cancel this dude. And then I realized that it's women voluntarily calling in. So as I watched him a little more and a little closer, I realized that he's telling these women everything their father should have told them. And he's like stepping in that role because I don't know if people really get the fact that The person that really loves you is that honest with you. All these people out here telling you that you attend and all this type of stuff, those people don't love you. Those are simps. They would never say that without an advantage for themselves. They're trying to get in your pants, or they're trying to get you to work for them for the low, whatever. The people that are the most honest with you, the way he was, are like your father figures, your brothers. They need you to be realistic so you're not getting hurt out here, right? Value yourselves, etc. So when I realized he had a female following that was perpetuating him to, the YouTube and Instagram prominence, I was like, whoa, they somehow, after they get over or they react to what he said, they got to deal with the truth in what he said. Right. I think that's the way I even learned how people listen in these conversations. Yeah, we go back and forth. We talk trash to each other, but you got to deal with the realness of what was said after the fact. You're going to go, like, sometimes we get into debates up here. I'll go to bed and just lay my head on a pillow and be in deep thought about it for an hour. Like, let me take that. That's a different perspective. Let me think about that. And I think that's what he did better than most people. And he was willing to have the uncomfortable conversation that people keep trying to dodge. Right? We still see it today. People keep trying to dodge those hard conversations, but we adults, and he forced people to start having them. And that's why we're here today. Still having the conversation. And unfortunately, DJ's still ducking, but it's okay. I'm just picking on you.
And the crazy thing is that you're starting to see anybody that came after him who are starting dating shows, specifically ones where you're talking to someone one-on-one, and they're all starting to hear and see the same thing. They don't say what Kevin Samuels said because of what Trigger Mike said, but shit, watch Kendra G's show. She took his whole thing, and she's trying her hardest not to sound like him, but you can see it in her face, like something's wrong with this bitch right here. Like on every time she talks to a woman, she's like, something wrong with this person. Ain't no way you think that you should be getting that, and you out here moving the way that you are.
I'm gonna give y'all somebody more comparable than that, right? I don't know if y'all aware of this this influencer. Her name is Ashley Dalton. Y'all know Ashley? Ashley is also an image consultant, and she has women come up there and she critiques them. She to ask them to stand up. Let me see. Okay, you look like you know. She talks to them. She gets a feel for them, and she says, you know what? I like this outfit better than that outfit. You gotta get your nails done. You gotta get your hair done. Maybe you could lose 20 pounds. It's not so much the critique, it's the tearing down that he did that was so toxic. And that's my main problem with him. It's not your critique, because everybody has a right to their opinion. If you go up there and you solicit somebody's advice, then take the advice. My thing is, you don't have to tear somebody down in order to advise them or to guide them. You can also lift them up. No, it's not that the truth hurts, but the truth without compassion is brutality. And that's the thing that I think that Kevin Samuels missed the mark on big time.
So can I?
Also,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, also, a lot of people have an issue with my perception of Kevin Samuels. That is my perception. That's how I experienced him. That's my reality and my lens.